Get your favorite health tips right here on U24. Maintain your kidney by drinking 8 to 10 glasses of water each day. This can be in form of soup, tea, water, cooked grains, and boiled vegetables.
Hi, my name is Doreen Tuhidire, coming to you from Be Money Wiser, and we're going to be bringing to you the hashtag 100 Ways to Be Money Wiser by Mrs. T. Tilda Nabandra. We're going to be running this hashtag 100 Ways to Be Money Wiser on U24 television. Don't miss out.
U24. Don't miss on U24.
Entrepreneurs Hub, giving you a deep and unique insight into agribusiness, services, ICT and innovation, industrialization and so much more. Entrepreneurs Hub, growing your small, medium and large business entity. With yours truly, Sandra Kahunde.
This is Tano Tano from the Uganda National Lottery. Win up to 10 million every 5 minutes. That's right, a new draw every 5 minutes from 6:45 a.m. to 11:45 p.m. Pick your numbers, choose your wager, or go to Quick Pick and get in the game fast. Play at an authorized agent, online, or dial *278# from your phone. Win instantly. No waiting, no delay. Tano Tano is live. Your next chance to win is just 5 minutes away. Ituba is the proud operator of the Uganda National Lottery.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tutu Mosquito Repellent Jelly is Uganda's first and only UNBS approved mosquito repellent jelly, protecting you from malaria while nourishing your skin with a gentle touch. Just apply it on your body and mosquitoes will not come near you. We also have Tuntu Habu Jelly, excellent for your skin, whether you have skin rashes, pimples, irritations, and other skin problems. Tuntu Habu Jelly is your body armor. Call or WhatsApp 0754 135 343 or 0780 899 580.
You got us on your wallet!
Is brought to you by the Uganda Electoral Commission.
most welcome to U24. This evening we have a very special edition of the State of Affairs. Mpere Amon Otega is my name, and I welcome you from the other programming that we had during the day from the time we started broadcasting until now that we join you with another important edition of the State of Affairs. And tonight we're going to be looking into a lot of things. The National Resistance Movement has just concluded its Delegates Conference 2025. We see new members coming on board, and the old guards, or the incumbents, getting out of the race. And we also had the DP late May 2025 and the early June 2025 also conducting the Delegates Conference in Bar 2025, and it had a lot of chaos, and also we have seen it somehow, somewhere, manifesting in the NRM Delegates Conference, where some of the members are not yet contented about the results, and also others are celebrating, but that is part of life. But this evening we have a very special team of guests who are going to be looking into issues and also educating the country and helping us to understand how things work and how they're supposed to be. And this evening we also have someone who is very wasn't and has been following the politics of this country. He calls him, he loves to be called a Democrat, and also is elections expert. This is Henry Muguzi. He's the executive director at Alliance for Finance Monitoring, but this time is going to be helping us to understand. And I do believe that he has been monitoring what is taking place in this country and all the politics that are around, and also looking at how we can help Uganda together. And also we do have Arnaitwe Brian is the psychologist specialist and also a consultant. Is going to help us understand what happens to people's mind when it comes to politics, where people tend to change everything and they turn out to be violent, they turn out to be what comes into their mind to turn into the kind of people that we see, yet we have not been used to such. To start with, let me start with you, Henry, and tell us about what do you see and what do you read about what is taking place in this country. Today NRM has concluded its Delegates Conference. What stood out for you?
Thank you very much, Amon. So, quite a number of things stood out. But should I say stood out or raised the concerns in me?
What did you read and what does that translate?
As a pro-democracy activist, an expert as well. So, when I saw the optics that have been manifested at Kololo, during those elections you've spoken about, and then the optics that were on show during the party primaries, then I started asking myself a question. I am a pro-democracy activist, so democracy is what we, advocate for. So I asked myself many questions, and let me share with you. So I looked at our society. I looked at the people, whether they have gone to school, whether they have not gone to school, the actions are the same. And then my question is, are we practicing something we have no clue at all? The image that came into my mind is analogous to my good friend on the village. His name is Kilonde. He used to have relatives in Europe. So one time they sent him a very expensive suit, a tuxedo. So he puts it on, but does not understand that this is an expensive suit. It cannot be washed by soaking it in water, like we were soaking the rest of the clothes. So he soaked it there, and it died.
Because he was used to that.
That was a consequence of not understanding what he was handling. And then I went ahead and looked at the nature and character of our population. So we are told by UBOS that close to 75% of our people are engaged in agriculture. They survive on agriculture. Is that the statistic that they're about? So I moved quickly into history and checked on the countries that brought democracy here, the Europeans. At the time, when did they last be in a situation where 75% of their population was surviving on agriculture? It went back to around the 18th century. Then I asked myself, what was the political, what was the nature of the politics they exercised then? Then I discovered that many of them, if not all, were authoritarian. They had kings, they had emperors. That was the time when their population, 70% plus, was engaged in agriculture. For us, we want to be at that level, and then we practice democracy. I think we do not understand it. Secondly, you look at the party leaders themselves, they don't understand, because you see, for an election such as SEC, when you see the kind of money they throw around, the behavior, the statements they make, the insults they trade against each other, the kind of actions they do, you ask yourself, do these fellows understand democracy? And the leaders, who of these political parties, who just look on? You see, democracy cannot survive where there are no ethics, there are no values. There must be principles that must be followed. You get to see that even the leaders of the political parties themselves do not understand what is democracy, what must be done, what cannot be done. How can you at this day and age, when all of us can write, go into an election without a credible voters register? How? So you don't know who comes to vote. How can you have a situation where some people come and exercise what you can call, what are those maneuvers called? So someone gets voters and takes them on a trip. So he has hidden them. The word is kidnap them. Then another one, we are told, allegedly, gives voters iPads, mobile phone, and then a human being, on the basis of just a smartphone, is able to vote just as they've been told. There must be something we do not understand. And then you look at the numbers they are spending at just SEC. Someone who stakes 2 billion on a SEC position to go,
which is
on a seat that is voluntary
position.
What is it that we do not understand? So these are things, if I was a young person, I would fail to understand. What is the motivation?
Some people say that it is democracy at work.
No, that's not democracy. You see, democracy does not act. That's why I started you from a point where of this kid on a friend of mine who gets a very expensive suit that can only be dry cleaned, and then he soaks it in the basin and doesn't know. They cannot understand the price. That what he's handling is very expensive. That's what we are doing with the democracy. We do not understand what democracy is. But also, so those optics for me, you said, asked me what stood out. So those optics were not good signs, but maybe...
Was there anything good that we can learn from how NRM conducted its delegates conference?
Yeah, I like it that there were the losers. The losers exercised maturity, and they were able to accept, concede defeat.
Some of them, others
a few of them, concede defeat and say, all right, let happen what will happen. But maybe also the other thing that stands out is, you know, for me, who focuses a lot on corruption on something they call electoral bribery, I looked at the supporters of the NRM party, and I asked myself the question, is it possible, could it be that actually the supporters of this party are the corruption itself? Yeah, because you see, you look at how they were behaving. You see, that behavior, that you are happy and, you know, and willing to be given something in order for you to not use your head, but do just as you have been told. And that is okay. And we're talking about a mass party that should be able, by the way, you know, those political parties of today have been entrusted with a very strategic responsibility. It is the responsibility of going out there and identifying leaders whom they present to us citizens to vote. Okay. Now, so that a party is, you know, through a process like this, you cannot find credible people you're going to vote because everybody wants to do monkey things. You know, nobody wants to play clean politics, and you see, you cannot have clean institutions without clean politics. Okay. So these are some of the things that stood out for me.
Interesting. Thank you, Henry. I want to get you to Brian. According to Uganda's heated campaigns, you're Ugandan, you've been here, you've participated in these elections wherever time, from the time we started. What do you read? And what happens where people get so emotionally attached to the candidates that someone can even say, I can die for someone?
Thank you, Amon, the moderator. Thank you, Henry. Good evening to the viewers of U24 TV. First of all, I'm happy to be here, to be hosted on this TV, and I thank the management for the invitation. On the topic of today, the heated campaigns and politics, let's first of all define what is politics. Politics, you need to look at politics. You need to combine it with political science together with democracy. Politics, these are activities that do put people of same interest, whether they are in a political party or political organization, but the activities that put them together to achieve a common political goal. The science of politics is how you achieve your goals as you do your politics. Then the democracy is a system that favors the majority, whether they are wrong or right, but as long as they are majority. How they manage to be the majority is their business. Now, the biggest mistake that everyone does around and across Uganda and the rest of the world is people to think that politics is like preaching a gospel. We fail to differentiate between politics, political science, and democracy, and that's where we go on a wrong footing. But let's face it head on. What is the biggest investment in politics? The biggest investment in politics is emotions. People invest a lot of emotions in politics than any other thing. And where you've invested emotions, you would love to invest to harvest happiness, celebrations, victory, and good results. Now, in a situation where people fail to achieve what their emotions target, that is the discussion now that we are looking at. Heated campaigns, abuse, insults, and all sorts of violence that come in different imagery. But I want to, first of all, myself, I want to thank the participants, both the voters and the candidates, that even in their behavior, we've not lost life, because that would be so naive. In a situation where you see a single party with its all full political party leaders right away from the grassroots fighting each other, it means that there is a feeling within the party that not all of us are the same. There are those who are better than us. There are those who are not better than us. Secondly, we also need to appreciate that there is competition. You would be so much worried if NRM put out elections and there is no one to compete. Or we have candidates who are just standing, who are just coming and opposed on every post. But where there is a competition, you appreciate it, and it won't just go scot-free. There will be lows and highs for that competition. So you need to put it in that perspective. But also you need to, if there are allegations that are coming, talk of corruption, and all of us need to condemn corruption in all forms.
Of course.
I personally, I cannot stand anywhere to support that there should be corruption. But where it has been legitimized, in a situation where it has been legitimized, like in areas where you have been able to witness, I will not speak for any specific political party, then we need to look at how we organize the house that has been caught up by fire called corruption. Because once it is not done, in a situation like we are witnessing, it means that the top people will not be able to control when it goes down. Number two, which is very important, is that we need to clean our house. Every political party needs to clean its house for this country to be very safe. But there is also a nature that you need to appreciate, Amon and the viewers of this, that after period of time, there is change. And change usually doesn't come so easily. When you read through the political atmosphere that is taking place in different camps of political parties, you can easily read the lines of change. I do not think, let's talk of President Museveni, the one who is the chairperson of NRM. I don't think he's the chairperson of NRM for the next 30 years. And so now everyone is agitating to be close to that seat. But it is not a seat which you're going to easily access. First of all, you've got to be humble. You need to appreciate his contribution and also the team that he has been working with. You also need to appreciate that this is something that has been built over time, and it has taken money, time, a lot of collective efforts. So if you are coming close to it, then you need to read the art of the 48 laws. You don't just come meandering, whether you have experience, whether you have knowledge, whether you have money, or whatever it is. You need to be humble. Whether you've got a strategy on how to do your things and then sort out yourself later, that is for another discussion. Okay. But you need to show it from the word go that you understand what you're going for. Lastly, it gives an impression that there is still a room for competition on every position. Because now when you, like in NRM, for example, they have just concluded their SEC elections, the conference. There has been a lot of heat campaigns, a lot of words put out to direct to members, whether they are senior or juniors, but there have been a verbal war. I think it calls for a sit-in discussion that those haywire crosswords need to be recorrected back so that we can settle our emotions and look at how we can take on the country. Not only to look at the party.
Interesting.
And this needs everyone. But I also want to encourage that where there is a need, where there is a sensitization of democracy, some parties need to exercise integrity. What I have observed in NRM of recent is that there has not been elections right away from the LC. There was appointment of leaders. And it gives an impression that most of the people who were appointed in different positions either not exposed to
But
the culture.
NRM as if it started from the crossroads.
When you read the character that was at Nambore, it's unheard of. I have not seen people fighting, breaking chairs, this one pulling the other one, because you are children of the same family, in the presence of your father and your mother and the rest of the members of the family.
Is it out of fear or hope that these people take up this direction?
Emotions.
How does fear or hope influence voting choices?
Emotions, I have told you, the biggest investment in election is emotions. Once emotions are taken by any direction, you are likely to have any results that you may have, good or bad. But I'm telling you, if NRM had proper elections right off from the LC1, that people are going to line, by the time you reach at the SEC level, lining up is not a character that you are going to fear. But you see, if results would not be the same if there was ballot, the one who got 1,000 votes probably would emerge a winner. But because I have given you money, and the agreement is that you must line behind my back, then you have a lot of cameras surrounding, because at the end of the day they are going to review, and some of the people are going to be witch hunted, you know. Then the result, you are talking of fear, it could also be involved, because you know very well that you're being monitored to see where you put your vote. You must account for what you received. If it is a bribe or a gift or any sort of anything, you must account for it, and you account only by lining. So
thank you.
We certainly we have a lot to do, and I have confidence, and I believe that the party will, at a very good opportune time, correct itself.
Interesting. Thank you so very much. And I would love to come back to you, Henry. Looking at how some of the candidates have conducted themselves, I've heard statements from different leaders where they say, how can you inject in 5, 2, 3, or even more billions of Uganda shillings for a position that is voluntary? What is so unique? What is the role of SEC that everyone is dying to be there? The politics that we see now, it's a do or die. What is so unique?
So,
and how can we get out of this?
So what's happening in Uganda is that politics or political platforms are one of the surest ways of getting rich quick. Those that have gotten there, their lifestyle has changed almost instantly. Those that have witnessed the behavior and conduct, but also the deals, the deal cutting that happens at the different levels, will tell you that if you want, you know, politics rewards more, better than businesses. In 20,
so instead of investing in business, you rather go into politics.
In 2020, you know, just for the sake of the voters to know that I lead this organization called Alliance for Finance Monitoring. Our preoccupation on a daily basis is to follow the money in politics. And so when there is an election like this, we track the money. So in 2021, we tracked money lenders, investors, who staked between 500 and 700. So someone has 5 billion to invest and says, instead of building an arcade, you know, huge building like this one, I better invest it in 6 candidates who will surely win. So he pumps 500, 600, 700 million, depending on the competition in the constituency. When you win, number one, you have signed, when you get money for the vehicle, the 200 million, half of it is mine, right? You have signed. Then on your account, he will place a standing order. So every time you get a salary, he's deducting half of it. And so he has imposed a very big interest percentage that politics, even for business people, rewards better. But that said, so you see that with those who are in political office, if they are at local government level, they will be in charge of the tenders of the district. If they come to parliament, you know that parliamentarians legislate for money. So there will be legislations that they will get money from. But also they are capable, and they have proved it so. They are capable of behaving in a manner that gets the president to pay them, okay? They always blackmail him, and he has to pay them on certain legislations that they think are controversial. But also, those that are in SEC, now let's speak about SEC. So I know of many of the SEC members that have spent 2 billion shillings upwards of.
On a voluntary position. What is so unique there?
So this is what is unique. Those SEC members always blackmail the president. So every year they find a way of blackmailing him, and each one of them pockets 500 million. Okay? Now when there's an election like this one, each of them will have to sign out 500 million to go and mobilize. When they come back, then to escort to go and campaign, they will sign out another 500 million. So they actually make this money in the 5 years. They are able, you know, at any one time, the minimum you can get as a SEC member through the blackmail they do is 500 million. So they make it. So this is what they told me, because I was curious. Why would someone spend 2 billion? The other day I saw the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Tayewa, also wondering the same, but he should know this, because if I know it, he should know it. So because of politics being transactional, that's why you see people taking a lot of money. The reports of the Electoral Commission tell you that the high spending in elections is one of the leading triggers of electoral violence. Because when someone stakes a lot of money in an election, he will entertain only one result. It is a win. Without a win, then they will fight. So, which is why you talked about politics being cutthroat. It's the numbers of monies that these people stake. And when they stake these monies, of course they will recoup it. Nobody goes for a loss. And they are spending it because they are so certain that they will recoup it, because most of the big spenders were actually incumbents. So they know that actually I will recoup this money. So that's where we are. It's not a situation that is happy to speak, is pleasant to speak about.
So these campaigns, they have turned out to be for political parties. People have personalized this. Is it about the person behind, or it is now for the party? Because I have seen so very many people saying, I am willing to take another direction if the results don't favor me. And one wonders if we really stand for these political parties that we subscribe for, or we are only personalizing these things. So where does this leave the political parties?
So as a country,
most of the members, and these are old members, who are stakeholders, and so instead of conceding to defeat and saying, okay, this time I have been defeated, I've been there for 3 terms, this is now what has come out for the 4th or 5th time, it is high time now I go behind for those who have won this time. But someone, instead of rallying behind and offer guidance, is saying, I'm taking a different direction. Everyone is threatening. Where does this leave the political parties?
So conceding defeat comes with a level of political maturity. This country, Uganda, is still in very nascent stages of political growth. So because it has not been okay, you look that all the people that offer themselves for elective positions have not gone through grounding, orientation over the years to make them appreciate certain things. Now, if you look at certain if you look at what democracy is that you need to have a politically competent electorate, but also you need to have very prepared people that offer themselves. Now, because also the political parties have failed to exercise free and fair processes within themselves, many members who lose feel that they've been cheated, because the perception is that the party system will not deliver free and fair election, so they don't want to accept defeat. But all these symptoms were there in most of the countries where democracy has taken root. For me, I think it's just a process we are going through, But the nonsense we are having, this process is so painful to watch and live through that I cannot wait to see how we will then start to mature. And that will come with time. So we need to be very patient and continue to persevere and live with these irregularities.
Brian, you're a psychologist. How should we handle pressure and stress that we get from the campaigns? Because so very many people are going into self-quarantine, like when we had COVID-19. And others would go into depression. Help them use this very platform.
Others die.
Others die.
Remember former Minister Kezimbira who died when he lost the election?
You can imagine.
When they said you've lost, that's why it stopped. He died. So.
Amoni, you know, before you join politics, you have expectations. Henry has told you, and he has rightly put it, that politics have become transactional. So it is very difficult to help a person whose business is betting. Because betting, certain, it is full of uncertainties.
So is politics betting?
Today's politics is full of betting, and you can see it from its inception, even right now as we begin, because these are party primaries, right? We are discussing about party primaries. We are not discussing about, we are discussing about the nursery bed of the national elections.
Well, at least it is a mirror. It reflects what is coming next. Because what we saw in
so whoever is going in front, this is the nursery bed. The seed has been put to the soil. We only wait for the few months to start looking to getting the grown-up seedlings which we are going to plant.
Just the next month we are starting nominations.
Very good. And for you, people are just looking at the SEC elections. You also look at the people who have picked nomination for the president. Just feeling confident that you have gone to pick a nomination for the president. You appear on TV. You don't know what to do. You don't know where you are coming from. You don't know where you are going. You don't know who you are. You don't know what you are. You have come to challenge for the highest office in the land. So there are very many things that you need to look at. There will be nothing really to sort out. What I tell Ugandans, you should know the person with money, the person with investment, the person with land, with high business, is as worried as the person without anything. Because the one with money is fearing the one without money, that anytime they meet, it will be like a cat and rat.
High fences.
That's why people build high fences, put cameras, put dogs, trained and those untrained. That's you know.
Scared of the other group.
When you look at even when you look at the motorcade of the ministers, the other day I was telling a group of people, I desire a country like the way we are here in Uganda. It is important they build a road for ministers. It is very hard to compete with ministers on this road of ours.
But
as I was coming here right now,
a road for only 80, about 80.
I mean, we have just heard of billions spent on how many SEC members? There were how many? Are they 12? We are talking about more than $1 trillion of money. So those 8 you are talking of, they mean what they mean in political arena. So to calm down the pressure, you should first of all know that there are people you are living for example, your family.
Okay.
You should know that you have a family that you are living for. You should also know that you are not only serving politics for God, but you also need to live for God to be able to do his work religiously. Then lastly on that, you need to know that politics is not a do or die. Today, things can go better. Tomorrow, the people you are seeing crying on TV are not new in politics. I just saw, I saw 2 ministers crying like babies. But how long have they been in power in those offices? Before I was born, they were in those offices. And they are crying with that they have been. It is like saying that your child has just slapped you. These
when
tears.
you have been slapping him for all the time.
And yet you had an opportunity to discipline that person to never slap you negatively.
Okay.
So when you have been in office for such a time and you have not organized yourself, then the truth is that the exit will be very painful. Even if they say, in a political office, there is no way you can refuse to come out of a political office. It is like a cupboard in a room. Whether it is big or old or what, they will put it on the side. They will bring many people, but at least they will make sure that that cupboard is out. Okay. Whether it is old or new, whether it was built in the room, they will dismantle it and make sure it is out. What is very problematic is that these activities break down our supporters.
Okay.
I am coming from a politically informed society. We just had primaries of NRM. I cannot explain exactly what the voters were going through. Many of them were on cannulas just because of rigging elections. Many of them failed even to eat. Some fell sick, some got confused, and I guess some even ran mad. I am yet to check, since I sit on a platform where analyzes mental patients in the country. I'm yet to know those that are from my community. But the fights that are being put by very few people, very lazy people,
okay,
because not campaigning very well that you want to cheat elections is a sign of laziness. And we should not tolerate that, I think, as Ugandans, because short of that, it will catch up with everyone.
Interesting.
Then the format of transition that we are seeing, what you witnessed in Kororo is a transition. It has started, if it has not ended.
Which transition?
Transition from what to what?
We are transiting from the old generation to new generation.
Okay.
If you have not noticed that, I know many people, when you talk of transition today, they want you to mention specific names from a group. No. Transition, whether it is by you and me here, transition, the stage 1 of transition started yesterday. Okay. And if anyone wants to know who is the next president, you can be, it is clear now in a glass.
That's why we come in with Henry, and I put it to you. What shapes or influences our campaigns and also choices?
By the age of Henry, he must be agreeing with me that yesterday was a ground break.
I will see whether he agrees. Oh, he's opposed to that. But Henry, what really influences our campaigns, the choices that voters or the people of Uganda these days make based on the kind of candidates and leaders that we are getting? Is it about good speeches? Is it about personalities? Or it's about the handouts now this time? That those who are willing to come in for the next campaigns and nominations that are coming in, they need to strategize. But also on the side of voters, they need to know what really influences them.
So originally, what was influencing voters was the what's it called, the capacity of a candidate. Our voters up until the early 2000s, I think up until 2001, they were looking at the capability in every person.
Individual merit.
Individual merit. But from the late 2000s, the merit-based administration and the governance seems to have been thrown on the seaway, and so opportunists began coming up. Today, it is clear to many citizens that however much they vote, nothing will change, because they look at the district council, the proceedings in the district, on the floor of the council. They see that what is being discussed there does not necessarily resonate with the needs and aspirations of the people. And then they look at what is going on in Parliament, the kind of laws that are passed and given priority, the discussions. You get to see that there is a disconnect between the legislator and the voters. And so what motivates them now is when I see you pay me and give me my part, because for the longest of time, we've seen that when you get to political office, all you do is enrich yourself. But there's something I want to say here. Because you see, I think when the time has come for us to indict the National Leadership Institute in Chankwanzi. You see, Chankwanzi was supposed to make sure that over time, like over the 40 years we are counting now, we should be able to have transformative leaders everywhere. That everybody that has seeks to aspire for political office has gone through that grounding, and that they've been prepared, and they also that they understand the kind of vision that Uganda wants. Not for example, those who are campaigning for sake and spending money. If you put them on the spot and asked, we have a plan, a national plan, Uganda Vision 2040. What does it say? And so, how are you going to contribute towards it? We have a vision, 2063 of the African Union. What is your view? Where do you think this country, Uganda, is going? What do you understand the vision of the move of the president, where he wants to take the country? So those are things that they are blank about. So we've not trained and prepared leaders. So that's why we suffer. So the voters now have decided, and they have already decided. And I can see, because we speak with them,
the voters or the candidates, the leaders that we have.
So the leaders we have, first of all, are not the leaders we want to have. But
who should be blamed with this kind of direction that we're taking as a country?
So quite a number of stakeholders have to be blamed. The first one is first of all, the government in office. You know, if you look at what the Communist Party of China is doing, and ensuring that there is a system that produces leaders, the likes of Xi Jinping, who is the president, can't just pop out of the blue. They go through a system. When the colonialists were here, there were schools they put in place to produce leaders. Those schools are since gone. Most of the leaders we have are coming from private institutions. But also, the leaders of political parties have failed on their mandate to prepare, orient leaders. But also the voters themselves. Oftentimes we know that Amon is a good leader, but when he comes to offer himself, we don't vote for him because he does not have the money. So we have to share this, but also the religious leaders. These are the ones that tend to be prioritizing and gratifying those that have money at the expense of those that have capability. And so everybody has to take their fair share of the blame. We need to sit together as a country and reflect on where we want to take this great nation of ours.
Interesting, Brian. How can we have peaceful campaigns? How can we have peaceful elections, especially as we near September, which is going to be a month of nominations? We are talking about a few months into the general polls, but what we see in different political parties is not really promising of the kind of future we're going to have in terms of campaigns. How can we have?
Thank you, Harmony. It is very difficult to have a peaceful campaigns at the moment, and it will be by God's grace. I may not say it is entirely difficult, but it will be by God's grace to have a peaceful campaigns. First of all, we have started on a very wrong footing of choosing the flag bearers of different parties. I speak for what is in the news at the moment, which is There are parties which are already undergoing through the process to have the flag bearers. First of all, campaigns have been made monetary. People are doing business, so it is how much you offer me that I either campaign for you or I campaign against you. And number two, we no longer have people who have the spirit of the party. Way back we used to have leaders. There is a man I know, it's called Tukaichiriza Karib. He was once a chairperson of NRM Nakawa West. To him, leadership was about service delivery. Whether there is money or no money, it was about service delivery. Now, for today, when you look at the money that you are here discussing about injecting 5 billion in a voluntary position, nobody is insane to do that. There must be something that you are just deliberately refusing to talk about. But nobody has that money to waste, that you want to get 5 billion, which could do a very good business in the country, and you are investing it in an area. If it is about voluntary, you would take that money and donate it to the natives. So there is going to be a very difficult situation for the people to go down and look for votes. Number three is the members of the fourth estate, like you people in the media. Bad news is the news to the media. I have, quite over time I have seen, where there is a news to be reported, cameras never focus there, microphones never focus there, because there is nothing like news. There are very many good things that this Sanja has made, the NRM has made, as implemented. But you see where news is focused. Everything is now carrying from 1986, 1996, and 2001 and up to now. If you go to look down what NRM has done, around this time, there is no news room, no new media is reporting good of NRM, just because of one event of SEC. So when you don't have satisfying fourth estate, is that they will only talk good and report good where they have been paid. As we speak, there is a TV station which is now, has already drawn a line that it is a command of the political results that are yet to come. It is already putting the lenses. So if you are interested...
Which UCC stopped there that day and it met all the broadcasters.
It has already been broken down.
Okay.
Then
time is not on our side. How I wish you
last
give us
one,
here.
The last one, which is very key, is the law enforcers. As long as there is where they are benefiting from, they will do whatever they can within their means to make sure that they do assignments that have been assigned to them because they are lucrative. So you expect there will be a bit of violence in this election, and within political parties, even the ones which are in the government, not only in opposition. And then when it comes to the other leveraged space of operation, where NRM, NOP, FDC, and the rest of the parties, there will be total chaos. But I hope God's grace takes us through this process, and I pray so.
Your last comment?
My last comment is that let everyone exercise his right, his constitutional right, but most importantly, let us look at Uganda as the only home that we have, so that we don't put it down and next time we are refugees in our very own country.
Interesting. Henry Muguzi, your way forward and also your parting shots.
Yeah, so we are going into an election. Normally, the people that have made sure that we get bad leaders in office are those that do not vote, and many of them are the elite. You, the elite, you, the young people who have clocked 18 and have refused to vote, you are the ones that have made sure that bad leaders stick on us. If only you could go out and vote, the things would change. So mine is a rallying call. To all of you that have registered to vote, please make sure you follow the campaigns, Nominations start next month. Next month is just next week. So that come elections, you come out and exercise your right to participate in choosing the officials to govern you.
That's an important call from you, Henry, and also from Brian Alnaitwe and Henry Mugusi. It was a very important moment that we shared together here as you educated the people of Uganda on this forum, and we call upon people to be peaceful. This is the only country that we have that we call home. Until next time, Thursday same time, that we bring you another important edition of the State of Affairs. From me and the team, it's a good night. For God and my country, allow me to sign out.
Is Tano from the Uganda National Lottery. Win up to 10 million every 5 minutes. That's right, a new draw every 5 minutes from 6:45 a.m. to 11:45 p.m. Pick your numbers, choose your wager, or go to Quick Pick and get in the game fast. Play at an authorized agent, online, or dial *278# from your phone. Win instantly. No waiting, no delay. Tano is live. Your next chance to win is just 5 minutes away. Ituba is the proud operator of the Uganda National Lottery.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Ladies